Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again. We've got a really interesting matchup here against Iceburg. My man Ricky brought it to locals, and yeah, I mean, honestly, super interesting deck. I think with some of the addition of EB01 cards, it becomes, you know, I wouldn't say like meta per se, but I would say it definitely has like its own right now. It can perform, you know, it can win some games, which I really like. And it's pretty solid all around if you see your pieces. There are some pretty incremental cards, though, that if you don't see, it just becomes really annoying playing the deck, because it feels like you're just playing from behind every single turn. But with the addition of those EB01 cards, such as Bluno and Khalifa, this deck, it got a little love. It got a little love. And I have no idea how to play into it, so I'm just kind of going in blind. But before we start up the match, ladies and gentlemen, it was Monkey D. Luffy's birthday the other day, and also I got a treasure cup coming up this Saturday, so just to show some love, I am doing a sale, a discount on the playmats right now. So if you were thinking about picking one up or considering it, right now is going to be the best time. I've got the discount on the website at TheLuffyTCG.com, so if you want to check it out, support your boy. Always appreciate it. But we've got Kokoro coming down on turn 1, looking for a water 7 card. Does find Bluno right there. I take a look at Bluno just because I'm like, all right, what does this do? And it's basically another Iceburg effect. Iceburg is able to play a Galley Law card from hand for that's 5 or less for the Dawn -1. But Bluno also able to play water 7 cards, 5 or less. So pretty insane. If you can get that onto board and have it stick for a little bit, it's pretty good. And as you probably already know, Uta lacks a lot of removal, so not exactly the best for me. But we're going to see a 5 from Kokoro coming down here. I'm considering whether I should be countering out or not, just because I know that I'm going to be seeing a lot of 5Ks. But I do decide to take this one, picking up the I'm Invincible. It's going to do the Dawn -1 and play down Tilestone. This is the on KO, getting to ramp 1. And the main reason I'm bringing up what some of these cards do is simply because I didn't know what some of these cards do. I hadn't seen them either since OPO3 or, you know, whatnot. So I'm not expecting everyone to know exactly what all of these are. But I do decide to just go into life and ignore the Kokoro. I don't think it's the worst play here, but he's more than likely just going to continue to swing with Kokoro because he can't really play a lot of characters out. He can get 1 per turn, at least at the current stage that he's at. And speaking of stage, this would be the turn to be putting down the Galley Law stage if he does have it, the Galley Law Company. But I don't believe, if I remember correctly, that he had it at this point in the game. So just kind of figuring out what he wants to do with some of this Dawn. Is going to swing 6. I'll go ahead and take, just because I think that I was lacking on 2K counters, but he goes ahead and plays the Bluno, which will allow him to do a Dawn -1. However, during the match, we didn't recognize this, but we ended up figuring it out afterwards, is that Bluno is just a water 7 card, not a water 7 Galley Law. So unfortunately, this was a slightly illegal move. No ill intent done by it. It was just, you know, we both had an oversight. A lot of the cards in his list are both Galley Law and water 7, so just assuming the same, totally understandable. And yet again, for a lot of the people that do comment, you know, all the misplays that happen in my games. These are friends of mine. I'm also, you know, friends with everyone here. We're just playing at locals, having fun. That's the whole point of the game. But Tilestone is going to go down and gets the rested card. Just going to pass it back over. So now he's going to be at 6 Dawn here. Or is it? Yeah, I believe it should be 6 Dawn. I don't believe he's ramped up just yet. And now we've got Bluno as well as Tilestone. able to attack this turn, and I'm like, okay, I'm at 3 life. I don't have the most counter in the world. My hand's looking a little rough. I'm gonna try and figure out what I need to be doing to stay alive here. Obviously, getting down 7 cost Luffy the following turn is gonna feel really good, but we do see the Reiju play coming down. This is nice, just allowing my opponent to get 2 cards into hand. And I was wondering if it, the reason why I looked at it here was because I was wondering if it was, if you were at equal Dawn or less Dawn, and it is both equal or less Dawn than your opponent. So since he's at 6, easy 2 card draw right there, developing a body, and now we've got Tilestone as well as Blue Note to be weary of. The 5 here is looking like it's going to go into life. I'm considering whether I want to take it or not. If I do counter, I'm probably just going to have to give the 1k with the Uta, which is a little unfortunate, knowing that I have very little counter in hand. I'm not trying to get too weak, but oh, it looks like I'm getting a little greedy. Okay, I'm getting a little greedy. I don't mind it. If he's going 6, if the 6 is going to life, I think I might just take, but it actually is, I believe, going into Brook, so totally fine with that. I wanted to save the Uta for the following turn anyways. I just don't want to have that issue. But he does hit me with the top knot right here, doing the Dom -2 effect to bottom deck my Nami. I really needed that draw power, if I'm being completely honest with you. But he goes ahead and uses the Iceburg ability to play out Khalifa. And now another Dom -1 just picks back up a 4 cost. But slightly unfortunate for my opponent. I don't believe he's seen the stage yet, and just not seeing the stage in this match, well, not in this match particularly, but just not seeing the stage in this deck is pretty rough, all things considered. And I'm just going to go ahead and swing 6, though. I want to try and, 1, get more cards out of my opponent's hand, but 2, I want to see if I can find some pieces to play with Luffy, and we do. The Brook is really nice here. I'm going to go 6 into Blue Note again, forcing out another 2k, gives me a Khalifa, and I am going to go the good old-fashioned Luffy into Brook into Usopp. I'm totally fine with this right now. I don't have counter, obviously, in hand, but just having a board to potentially get, like, in a winning position on the crackback is going to be really nice. We also have the backlight and the I'm Invincible to go for the majority of the board the following turn also. I could do the 8 cost Kid to play out the 3 cost Nami. I mean, there's many plays that we'll have next turn that even if I go to 0 life here, I'm still looking pretty good. So I'll go ahead and take the 7k swing. He's got 3 Dawn to work with. We're going to see a 5 from Khalifa. This feels like a pretty easy 1k counter. But it might be in my best interest to go ahead and block. But another 5 coming in from Blue Note. I'm considering whether I want to counter with that Uta or not, or maybe just take the life. We do. Lucky we get a 2k counter. Very happy about that. Gonna see another 5. I'll go ahead and block, and another 5 from Kokoro as well. I'm like, I can go to 0 here if I really want to. I just don't know if that's exactly what I want to do, but I am considering it. Realistically, the following turn, I'm looking at maybe playing like the 3 cost Uta, and being able to restand my 7 cost Luffy. I could either play that off of the Eustace Kid, or I can, like, that's if my 5s connect on this, but does get the Blue Note out again, yet again. Unfortunately, we didn't really know that it was not a galley law. We weren't really paying attention, so a little bit of a misplay right there, but does get out back to Khalifa and gets 2 more 2k counters into his hand off of that. So solid, all things considered. I mean, realistically, he could have just played the Khalifa, so it's not that big of a deal, but I guess just developing the extra Blue Note is like where the misplay goes. But he's looking at about 5 cards in hand right here. I end up drawing into another Uta off of my leader swing. I do get one of the 5Ks, and now I can just start chipping at a lot of his board. I'm like, hey, what are you going to give me? Are you going to let this go? Or are you going to let it leave? What's the thought here? So 5K is going to connect. Now I can swing 6 into Tilestone. If he lets this go, I've got the 7K Luffy swing as well. He did get to ramp 1, but being at 2 Dawn right now is just so brutal. Like, I genuinely feel for him right here. Now I can just rest 8, get down the Eustace Captain Kid. I'll go ahead and tap Kid to play Uta. And yeah, and now I can use Uta effect as well to restand my Luffy. There is nothing getting over this. I'm just thinking about whether I want to get rid of Backlight or I'm Invincible. Backlight seems like the right play. I like having I'm Invincible for going for game the following turn since we have such an insane board. But with my opponent only having 4 Dawn because of the lack of stage, as well as there's another card, the 5-cost Kid. He hadn't seen 5-cost Kid yet. I mean, basically the main instruments in this deck list is just preventing him from being able to swing a lot larger into this Eustace Kid right now. Pretty tough, not gonna lie. And Bluno is only an on-play effect, so that can't activate main here or anything. With 4 Dawn, I mean, the best he can do is a 9K swing into Eustace Kid, and then that's like the easiest 2K counter in my life. We could block, but no need to do that when I just have all this beautiful counter in hand. And by that, I mean like all of maybe like 5K, but it's at least better than the 1 to 3K that I had for the most of the game. Does play Rob Lucci from hand. This is at least going to allow him to rest one of the blockers the following turn if the game goes that long. But he's staring down a lot of menacing attacks right now. A lot of scary attacks. I think I start with a 5 with Brook just to test the waters, see what's happening. And if I'm not mistaken, he does take this Brook swing. And I'm like, oh, we're good to go then. So now I can go 7. And we do see a 0-cost event as well as the 9-cost Kaido, which was never going to be getting played this game without some of those ramp cards. I'm going to go 5 with Uta, yet again, just testing the waters. We get a 1K. 7 with Luffy does connect as well. I can go 9 with Kid, and now I can just attach the rest. I'll swing 9, knowing that I have I'm Invincible. He finally finds the 5-cost Kid, but unfortunately, just a bit too late. We end up taking the game here. Obviously, slight misplay on the Bluno, but we're both kind of learning. Like, this is a deck I don't see very often. So for me, I was just like, oh yeah, sounds good. And he was also just built the deck that day to try it out. And super fun, though. Super fun to see. I think I'm a little unfortunate that he didn't see the stage or Kid earlier on into the match, because I think that it actually would have been a lot closer of a match had he not been able to, or not have to lose like 2 Dawn every single turn, and essentially like never get up and ramp enough. But all things considered, a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. All right, peace.